Hello and welcome to a brand new Toque de Football video. FC Barcelona has defeated Real Oviedo 3-1 at the Estadio Municipal Carlos Tartiere in a tough game, in a game where Barcelona had to come back, in a game that was a tale of two halves. Barcelona struggling in the first one and then completely dominated in the second one. Let's break it down. I want to start off with Real Oviedo because I have to tip my hat off to them for what they did in the first half, especially in the first 30 minutes of the game. A team that came out with a lot of confidence, a team that came out with no fear, a team that I felt like they actually thought they could beat Barcelona head on with no sense of fear towards a team that is superior on paper and in talent. Real Oviedo really made Barcelona uncomfortable in the first half. I think they took Barcelona's midfield out of the game. They knew how to hurt Barcelona with balls over the top and using their pace on the wings to beat Barcelona's fullbacks. And they also used Rondon very well when it came to those long balls. Rondon, to me, had a really good game in the first half, at least. A player that is great with shielding the ball, a player that is great with holding the ball, and I think he did well for Real Oviedo in that sense. Whenever there was a long ball, Rondon was there, and he made life difficult for Araujo and Cubarsí. Like I mentioned before, I think Real Oviedo came out with no fear whatsoever. In the first 10 to 15 minutes, Real Oviedo really brought the game to Barcelona. They were attacking with a lot of intensity, and they had a couple of chances in front of goal that could have opened the scoring for them. Of course, as we all know, the opening goal didn't come until the 33rd minute. It came from an uncharacteristic mistake from Joan Garcia. Now, I wouldn't blame Joan Garcia for this goal. I think this goal happened because of Barcelona's high line and Barcelona's woeful defending in the first half. Martin was getting beat the whole first half, and Hassan was chasing this ball down when it was played over his head. So I think Joan Garcia saw that and he decided to come out and intercept the ball. He won the ball, and he also managed to get around another Real Oviedo player. However, when it came to passing the ball to Casado in the middle, he made a bad pass which landed straight to Reina. Reina, being the intelligent player he is, put his head up, saw an empty goal, and lobbed it over the Barcelona defense. 1-0 Real Oviedo in the 33rd minute. Again, I want to mention, I don't think this was Joan Garcia's fault. I think he did the right thing. It was his first mistake all season. He's been playing very confident for Barcelona. He's been very good for Barcelona. And this, I would mainly pinpoint more on the defense than on the goalkeeper. Although people will say the goalkeeper shouldn't be coming out 30 yards to win a ball. But then again, with what was going on Martin's side, I think Joan Garcia felt like he had to come out and try to intercept that ball. The whole first half, Real Oviedo made Barcelona very uncomfortable. Barcelona really couldn't string any passes together in the final third. The midfield was struggling to orchestrate any plays for Barcelona, and I saw an isolated Rafinha and an isolated Rashford on the wings. Barcelona's play was too slow, the circulation was too slow, and Barcelona really couldn't triangulate any passes or couldn't get any 1-2s going. And I think that really affected Rafinha and Rashford, who a lot of times felt like they needed to go one-on-one and beat their defenders to have any chance on creating a chance of goal for Barcelona or getting a shot on target. I think Real Oviedo did well in the first half in that sense in shutting down Barcelona's offense and taking out the midfield as well. Now in the second half, Fleek made the correct adjustments. Fleek subbed off Casado and put in Frenkie de Jong, and the level of play from Frenkie de Jong and Pedri are above everyone else in this game and in the past few games. It seems that they play with glue on their feet because anytime they're on the ball, anytime they have possession, they don't lose the ball at all. They never misplace any passes, and they're simply able to just grab the ball, do whatever they want with it, and then play a great pass to their teammates. Pedri, the disrespect that the Ballon d'Or ranking put on you is disgusting. It makes no sense. It shows that the Ballon d'Or voters have no football knowledge whatsoever. Pedri easily was the best player for Barcelona today. Pedri easily has been the best player for Barcelona this season, in my opinion. What Pedri does for Barcelona is inexplicable, really. No one else could do what Pedri does for Barcelona. He never loses the ball. He never loses possession. He always plays the right pass. He sees things that other players don't. His IQ is above everyone. Pedri is at another level this season, and just because he doesn't get assists or goals doesn't mean that he isn't Barcelona's most important player. I think anyone that watched the game today saw that Billy is at a different level this season and past season. Now, I also do want to talk about Barcelona's defense. Barcelona's defense, as we know, play a high offside trap line, and overall, I think they did well. I think they did fine for what they play and what Real Oviedo tried to do against them. But I really didn't like Martin's game. Martin, in my opinion, has not had a great game since the semifinals against Inter. I'm not quite sure why Flick keeps insisting on him on the left back when we have Jules Koundé, who I know was coming off an injury, but has had multiple games since he came back off that injury. I don't know if it's a disciplinary thing with Koundé, but Koundé should easily be starting as the left back because Yad Martin looked very slow today. He was getting beat by Hassan all first half, essentially all game. He doesn't really contribute that much on the offense, and I think that's why Rashford was also feeling very isolated, especially since Olmo wasn't having a great game. And we'll talk about Olmo in a bit as well because I don't understand Olmo whatsoever. I don't. But Gerard Martin just hasn't shown enough for me to be starting this season, and I think that Jules Koundé, who in my opinion is one of our better defenders, should be starting as a left back every game, week in and week out. On the other side, I thought Eric Garcia had a great game. He did score the tying goal in the 56th minute thanks to a great turn from Ferran Torres, who also didn't have a great game, by the way. And I think Eric Garcia is also a very good defender when he plays fullback or when he plays center back. He can also play the CDM role. But I think Barcelona really miss Alex Balde. And let me explain to you guys why. Alex Balde is a fullback that is very quick off his feet. He's a great defender. He can track back. And he brings a lot more on the attack than either of these two fullbacks do, Eric Garcia and Gerard Martin. And I think that we've noticed a dip in play for Rafinha because Alex Balde isn't in the game. Rafinha, again, I saw him isolated, and I think it was because there was no help from the cam, the number 10, Olmo, and there was no help from Ferran, who usually plays outside of the box to help string those passes together. But today he didn't have a great game either. And I saw Rafinha that felt like he needed to beat his defenders one-on-one basically every time. And you can't always beat your defenders one-on-one. And Rafinha has really struggled with that. And I think when Alex Balde is in the game, they really complement each other in terms of 1-2s and overlapping runs from either or whenever they're going on the attack. So I think Barcelona really misses Alex Balde, and I heard that he's close to returning. So I hope that Barcelona can get him back for this next game coming up this weekend, or at least for the game against PSG in the midweek in the Champions League. Now I want to talk about Olmo and Ferran Torres because these two players are very frustrating. Dani Olmo, whenever he starts, he doesn't seem to have a great game. I don't know if it's because he feels out of rhythm with the game. I don't know if it's because he feels like he's starting. He shouldn't be playing at the level that he plays whenever he comes off the bench. Maybe he feels like he doesn't have to prove anything since he's already in the starting lineup. But every time Dani Olmo starts, he just doesn't play well. Today, he didn't make a single through pass. He didn't feed any single channels to his wingers. Every time he got the ball, I felt like he was either playing it back or he was losing the ball. I don't get it with Dani Olmo. What is it with Dani Olmo and what is it with Fermin? Because Fermin does the same thing. Fermin will come off the bench, he'll have a great game, he'll score, he'll assist, and then he'll start the next game, and then he'll be lost. So can they just not play as starters? I'm not sure. I'm more of a Fermin guy because I feel like Barcelona play a smoother style. I think they're more fluid with Fermin. But I also like Olmo, and I think Olmo has his own good characteristics. But today he just didn't have a great game, and because of him not being able to link up with the wingers, I think it really disrupted Barcelona in the middle when it came to the final third. Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres is back to that inconsistent Ferran Torres that we saw the first couple of years with Barcelona. Last season, he had a great season off the bench where he scored 16 goals. This season, he's been starting essentially every game in the league. He didn't start in the Champions League because they gave minutes to Lewandowski, but again, I think Blake uses Ferran because Ferran is really good outside of the box and in that 10 row area where he can grab the ball with his back facing the net and be able to play a great pass to his wingers or be able to play a great pass to the number 10. But today I just didn't see that from him. He struggled outside of the box and he struggled inside of the box, and he's just been so inconsistent with Barcelona this season. Last week he scored 2 goals. This week didn't have a great game, and Thankfully, Barcelona have a number 9 on the bench that they can slot in whenever Ferran is struggling. And I think that really shows that Barcelona is not one dimensional. We're all used to Barcelona playing possession based football, which they still did today, but we're also used to them circulating the ball with much more pace and stringing those triangular passes, stringing those 1-2s in the final third to get someone in front of goal. Unfortunately, today they weren't able to do that with Oviedo's great defensive work. But this is why we have a number 9. And Lewandowski came in the 66th minute, and 4 minutes later, he had Barcelona up, essentially completing the comeback for Barcelona with a great ball from another player that came on that is at a great level, Frankie de Jong. I think today's game showed that whenever Barcelona struggle with their primary form of attack, they have players on the bench that can change the dynamic, and that's exactly what Lewandowski does. He is so clinical in the box. He is such a great poacher, and this is why he still should be, in my opinion, getting a lot more minutes than he does now. In my opinion, he should be starting a couple of games in the league as well. Ferran Torres is very inconsistent, and until I see more consistency from him, I think the Lewandowski should be getting a couple starting spots over him. Nonetheless, I think Barcelona's attack overall was okay. Like I said, Rafinha and Rashford seemed isolated for most of the game, but I wouldn't say they had bad games. I think they both had very normal games. Nothing great, nothing bad. Rashford did have that last minute assist off the corner kick to Araujo that sealed the deal for Barcelona in the 3-1 victory, but Barcelona play best when Pedri is at a high level, and you see what happens when you take away Barcelona's midfield, or at least when you make them uncomfortable. Barcelona struggles to do anything, and that's exactly what Real Oviedo did in the first half. But this game also showed that Barcelona are capable to pick themselves up, and Flick knows the adjustments he needs to make whenever his team isn't responding the way he wants to, and it shows that he is a great coach for Barcelona, and he knows what he's doing. So I got to tip my hat off to Flick for the subs he made. Barcelona did not look great, but in the second half they were much more dominant, and it was thanks to those subs that Flick made. Nonetheless, Barcelona get the win, which is the most important thing. They're still 2 points back from Real Madrid, who play a tough game this week against their crosstown rivals Atletico. Barcelona will play host to Real Sociedad, and we'll see how the tables look at the end of the weekend. Let me know what you thought about the game in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content from Toque de Football.